Hey, welcome to Quick and Dirty Tips. I'm just going to walk through the Microsoft Word client exercise to show everybody how to format a document to be ready to create a fillable PDF from. Okay, there's the title. That was easy, huh? Adobe Acrobat actually tags this once you create a PDF from it, so it's actually quite helpful for screen readers, for anybody with visual disabilities. Okay, I noticed that the font for the default normal text is actually a serif font, and serif fonts are often more difficult to read online, especially when people are filling in forms online. So I generally tend to change them to a sans serif font. So I'm going to modify the normal style. So I right-clicked, I'm going to choose Modify, and I'm going to edit the text to be Calibri instead of the other, and choose OK. So now all normal text throughout this whole document is going to be in that typeface. Okay. All right, I'm going to put in these square boxes, and if anybody doesn't know how to do that, you insert a symbol. There we are. Lovely symbol, and I'm just going to drag it in there. Now I've noticed that this symbol is quite small in here, and I want it to be quite a bit larger. So I'm going to hold down my Shift key, hold down my Command key. I'm on a Macintosh. If you're on a PC, you can hold down the Shift and Control keys. And I'm going to press the greater than sign. The greater than sign allows me to increase the size of that symbol without having, one point at a time, without having to guess what size it needs to be. So I can just make it look good, or make it look correct. Nice. Then I'm going to put a space and mail. Now it's still using the typeface of the symbol that I just put in there. So I'm just going to click on normal and put it back to normal. So there we have mail. I'm going to put 5 spaces in. Normally I would set up tabs or set something up within this table or add more columns, but where there's only 2 items here, I think that's all I need. I don't need to get fancy with the spacing in here. I'm going to copy and paste, space, and female. Once again, I'm back to that. Now, when you're designing a form, it's best to have the text that belongs with the box closer to the box than it is to anything else. That's a graphic design element called proximity, where you want the box you need to check close to the text that needs to be checked. And what I've noticed here is this particular typeface for the symbol we made quite large, so the space next to it is quite large. So all I need to do is copy one of these spaces here and paste it in there and paste it in there. Voila! Looks much better. Now, to line these things up a little bit better, I'm going to select this column. I'm going to go to my tables and my table layout, and I'm going to align these items to, let's just see what center looks like. Actually, I need them to be center right? Much better. I kind of like it. I'm going to adjust the spacing here a little bit to give people a little bit more room to type. Voila, I think that looks lovely. The only thing I need to change now is the lines. If I go over here to this document and I go to Table and turn off the grid lines, you'll be able to see that there aren't any top, left, and right lines around this table. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go to Tables, Borders, turn off the top, turn off the left, and turn off the right. There. Lovely. Then I'm going to type describe your client. And then I need another table in there. As you can see, the default spacing for paragraphs set up in the normal template for Word is showing me there's no space before, no space after, or very little. But over here, we have quite a bit of space above, and again, that's the graphic design law of proximity. You want an item that's supposed to belong to something else to be closer to that something than it is to anything else. So describe your client is closer to the box it belongs to than it is to the table above it. So we want that to happen here as well. So just for better visual recognition here, I'm going to insert a table, and we'll make it big enough to fit things in. And I'm going to select this paragraph by clicking out in the margin. You can also just click 3 times to select the paragraph inside, or you can drag, whatever you want to do. I find it much easier to just click out here. Then I'm going to format the paragraph to make it look exactly the way I want it to look. In this case, I want more space before the paragraph than there is after the paragraph, and I'm going with the default 12 points before and 0 points after. And that looks nice, but it is kind of tight to that box. So let's do that again. Format the paragraph, and we're going to put 6 points below and see how that looks. See, that looks lovely. Looks perfect. Now I want all of the text that goes into the rest of these items, I want all of those items to have that style attached to them. I want them all to be the same. So instead of having to copy the format or reformat everything as I go, I'm actually going to create a style for this. So I need to go back home, and I need to manage the styles that are in this current document, and I need to create a new style, and that style is going to be questions. I'm going to call it questions, and it's a paragraph based style, meaning I want the whole paragraph to be affected by it. It's not like bold or underline where I only want one word affected. I want the entire paragraph affected by this style. And it's going to called questions. It's a paragraph and it's based on normal. That's groovy. So now I have a new style up here called questions. So the next time I have a question like, what is your client's name? I can select it, click on questions, and it has all the right formatting attached to it. And then I work. Tables. So I need to insert a new one-line table. Now, because the last paragraph that was in here had the extra space above and below, so does the paragraph inside this table cell. So this is actually quite a nice size for my next item. Also notice that I'm not putting any extra returns in here. I'm not hitting enter, enter to leave this space. The reason I do that again is because when Adobe converts the Word document to a PDF, it actually pays attention to how many enters or returns are in there. And if this is being read by a screen reader, it makes it much less confusing in the final PDF for screen readers, for people with visual disabilities. It also makes the PDF much quicker for Acrobat to turn into a fillable form because there's less information in it. Simple is good. You want to keep it as simple and clean as possible. single, married, divorced. I don't want to type a lot, so that's as far as I'm going to go with that. And notice, since the last paragraph I did was this style, this paragraph is now the question style, and I'll be able to insert another table and make this one a little bit bigger because the client wanted more room for the second part of the question. Okay, next style of item we have in here. We have a table with 5 questions you would ask your client. If you just put single rows, a single column, and put numbers down the side, it would look very similar, but what happens is when you bring that over, Acrobat won't always convert that into fields. So in order for this to convert correctly, I need to make the table something like this. So just anytime you've got a table that you would like somebody to fill questions in, make sure that you make 2 columns, one for the question, in this case, which is just a number, and one for where the answer is going to show up. So I need 5 rows and 2 columns for this table. So 2 columns and 5 rows. Lovely. And why did I get 4 rows? I didn't add enough. So I'm just going to click down here and hit my tab key. Oh, I did have enough. It was just spreading onto the next page. Okay. I need this to fit better on the page. You notice over here the margins are smaller, and in this document they're not quite small enough, so now I don't have enough room to have all my fields on the page. So I'm going to fix that right now. I'm going to go to Layout, and I'm going to go to Margins, and I'm going to choose Moderate Margins, and you'll notice that it gave me more room, but it left my tables the same size, so it really didn't give me that extra room to put my extra row in my table in there. It still doesn't fit. So I'm going to click on each one of this table, and I'm going to go to Table, Auto Fit to Window. And what that does is it just spreads my table out to fit flush with the margins. Now, any command that I give in Microsoft Word, I can repeat my last command with Control Y or Command Y if you're on a Mac. So I'm going to Command Y, and you noticed it fit that to the window. Command Y, Command Y. Just give ourselves a little bit more room. 3, 4. Here, there we are. I'm going to select this, and there's a little bird over there on the deck. And I'm going to go to Home, and I'm going to number those. Lovely. It's right beautiful. Okay, on the second page here we then have a more complicated table. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns and 4 rows. So let's put that in there. Tables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns and 4 rows. Lovely. Now it's repeating the last table. So what's happening, I think, is continuing the table before it. And if I didn't have the room there, so I'm going to undo that. I'm going to hit my Enter key. I'm going to remove that later, but for now I'm going to leave it in there, because what was happening is it was continuing this table as if it were one long table. And I don't want it to do that. So 6 by 4. Beauteous. Now see how all the columns are equidistant? That's because it's no longer continuing the table beforehand. Now I'm going to save myself a little bit of typing. 3 clicks over there, not 4 clicks, not 2 clicks, 3 clicks. And I'm going to paste the text in, make my column a little bit wider. And again, I'm just saving myself typing time. Oops, see what happened? I had the whole cell selected here, so when I dragged that over, it changed the size of that one cell. instead of the whole column. Let's change that now. That's about right. Copy, paste. 3 clicks, copy, paste. Again, you'd have to type this in if you were copying it from another thing. I'm just being a little bit lazy so that this video is quicker. Voila. Now, in the final form, I want people to be able to type in here, and I tried putting column headings up here with right now, 6 months ago, 1 year ago, 1 to 3 years ago, and 3+ years ago. And all that did was create one field across. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to put the text inside each one of these rows. Voila. And I can just repeat that for each one like that. The text size has been reduced and the space above and below has been reduced so that they fit into the columns. And there you have it, a beautifully laid out and designed form that will translate into a fillable form in Adobe Acrobat quite nicely. Of course, you need to save your form and then save it as a PDF. I hope that was really helpful for everyone. Please, in the comments below, leave any questions you'd have. I'd love to do some more videos like this one. Have a great day.